Sup guys, so it's Chettil around here and it's Moscow time, whatever. Welcome
I can give
to...
you time, just a second. It is exactly like 4:15. Look at this.
Yeah, it's 4:15 Moscow
4.
time.
14,
Hey, by the
15.
way, you know about the in the United States, when we say like the time is now 4:15, like after 12, if you use 1 p.m., all Europe or the world says 13 after 12. But interestingly, in the United States, I was in the student center and then I was writing that time. I still use that time like 15 or 16. But the girl actually next to me said, "Oh, are you using a military time?" You know, it's a military time.
Really?
So it's like really fun. You know, in the United States, you actually use those times like after 12 is like 13, 14. You don't use actually. If you use
that part, but
it is considered as a military. Yeah, it is military time because military.
Why
guys,
is it military time?
I don't know. It is called the girl told me.
So we live in the military, yeah.
It's like people use it that and it's 1820. But that was funny. But anyway, so now Moscow time is like 4:16. We can start our podcast in English. What do you think?
Yeah, we think it's a perfect idea. It's a perfect idea.
Come on, man. You're trying to have a British accent.
Actually, I mean, it's what are we talking about, actually? I mean, guys.
Anything but in English, because the title say Anglis, tilinde, maek. So you gotta say anything but in English, you know. So yeah.
So, alright, guys, this is our first attempt to emulate English-speaking people, actually native speakers, so-called. And we're here, as you know, as you probably recognizing our voices.
In different languages?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay.
We're the same guys who have made the previous podcast, so...
Yeah.
And this is, we're very excited, listen, and this is like amazing, talking English and knowing that later on people will be hearing you. This is amazing, man. You can talk a lot of stuff and many
people. But you know, like every time, like that's a question I want to have. You know, like when you speak English, do you actually change anything in your mouth? Like you know, we call it articulator whenever, like whatever body part that produces sounds, like nose, lips, and tongues, whatever. Okay, do you change it, like position maybe?
Well, I do change the position of my tongue and mouth when I speak. What?
How about teeth?
Teeth.
I mean, you do not change. I mean, you just, you know.
I do think that something is going on in my mouth, but I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. You know,
physically,
for our listeners, it's really important because any Kyrgyz, you know, who speaks in English, is it possible for them to speak as a native speaker? And another question, Kale. I mean, look at this. Like a lot of time, people say, "Oh, we can't speak English at all." I mean, as a native speaker, is it true, or do you believe that any person in the world who were born, a person who was born in different countries and started learning English and actually can learn as a native speaker? What's the difference between native speaker and a non-native speaker?
Well, actually, that's a very nice question, Max. And I think it is possible. I gotta tell you, this is some good news, man, for people that are learning English. I have some really good news because they will speak like this because it just takes some time, some patience, some hard work. Because, see, the other day I was watching a video of Steve Jobs making his speech at Stanford University at a commencement party, whatever you want to call it. So, and I was thinking, probably these masses of students are thinking about Steve Jobs, how on earth he achieved such an accomplishment of making such an incredible product, like for example this iPad that we're recording our podcast today.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are masses of students probably thinking, what did he do? What did he eat or drink to become such a person? And I come to work and I see my students, and my students are probably thinking the same thing about myself. You know,
how on earth I can't.
Yeah. How on earth? How on earth did this teacher start? I mean, speaking like he speaks now, and I think, and I got this answer, you know, for myself. I think everything is possible. It just takes some time. I mean, count the years I've spent learning English. Count the years I've spent. Maybe unconsciously I was developing, you know, maybe just doing some simple stuff, acting, just like this Mount Mover says, acting. not just sitting.
What do you mean acting? Like, how do you act in order to learn English?
I mean, you
It's
act. I mean, there are
Fake it until you
different.
make it? Is it?
No, not fake until you. This is one of the elements.
Yeah,
this is one of the steps. I mean, this is one of the tools you have in your toolbox. You know,
Yeah.
and in the toolbox, I think there are millions of
Yeah.
ways you.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, guys, there's some good news. You will learn. There is no way you cannot learn. It's up to you. You gotta move yourself. You know, you gotta push yourself.
Yeah. On the other hand, look at this. Like, I mean, I'm a random guy. You know, random learner. I was born in one of the Kyrgyz village. So
Not even
in the village, like no,
not
there's
even
even maybe like there's no.
city, right? It's
Birds.
a
No,
village.
man, it's all a village. I remember the time I was
So,
growing.
Are
you know?
you from village?
Yes, do I
Oh,
do?
man.
I'm from actually I am. So the way when I was born.
Do you milk cow?
No. Anyway, so when I remember my time, I was like, for example, 5th grade. Imagine the 5th grade, I was in the village. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, in that time, my village, my village that in Kyrgyzstan, there was I saw it as a world.
Okay.
So, as maybe my country, you know, like the neighbor village would be like foreign countries, you know, like Kazakhstan,
Okay.
Uzbekistan. So when I went to the other village, the neighbor village, I really felt myself like I'm a tourist there. Think about that. And after that, I moved to Bishkek, you know, the capital, and after that I moved to Germany and blah blah, and you know, travel the world.
Yeah.
Once you travel the world, I mean, the time passes like really fast. Now, I you know, thanks God I can speak English at least whatever level I speak, but still, I mean, I'm proud of that. So the thing is, I said I've never thought of that. You know, I've never thought of that. I would be able to speak foreign language, which is like, you know, English or German or certain things, you know, but. Actually, it is true, and there's no about the time, you know, just interest.
Yeah.
I remember myself when I came to Bishkek first time, because if you are from village, what do you think when you come to the city? You think you don't know anything because you're from village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that.
What do you do? And if you don't know, you remember commencement. You remember that conversation? What is Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
At the end, he says like, you know, about the paperback Google.
Paperback Google.
Yeah, he talks about the.
Because I didn't watch the comment.
I mean, watched to the end, and he says at that time, 70s or 80s, they had a kind of journal or something, magazine or something, you know, encyclopedia maybe, yes.
Okay.
And he had and he talks about it was like a paperback Google that time, you know.
Yellow pages?
No, you open that encyclopedia and then check news, a lot of information. It's like Google. You Google it, you find things.
But it's a book.
Yeah, it's a book, yes. That's why it's a paperback. And in the back of the book was a picture, like countryside. There's a road, and on the bottom, beneath of that picture says, "Stay hungry, stay foolish."
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was point. You know, like when I came to Bishkek for the first time, I realized I was hungry.
Okay.
That's
And
why I
was
started
foolish.
Yeah, and foolish, you know, because you didn't know Russian, you didn't know things, you know. It was a tough time, you know.
Okay.
I mean, it was not that tough, but it was like pushing, you know. And even right now, you know, I constantly try to improve the accent, you know.
Okay.
But eventually you will get the end. It depends on like common and also habit.
See, one of the common questions is defining what you said eventually. What is eventually for students? For some students, eventually is few months. For some students, eventually is few years. You know and it's just, I think, in my opinion, it's that starting point when you actually reach the level. When you grab the language, you start speaking, you know, even though you don't have like huge vocabulary, you start speaking. This is the time when you kind of activate your own whatever desire, you know.
Yeah.
This is the point where teachers are not really needed.
Yeah.
You can grow yourself. And this is, I just want to say to students that there is this point where you start thinking in that language, when you start actually speaking, you know. And this is happiness, man.
Oh man, this is joy. I can
This
feel
is like
that.
joy, man.
Wow, man, this
you
is
feel
amazing.
such a relief because You don't have to think before you speak, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to think in your language and translate to that language.
Oh man, it's hard work, man. I mean, this is kind
And
of.
from that point,
You
you
need
can
extra
grow.
RAM for that, you know? Computer RAM. So, sir, what would you like, Matt?
Well, here at Chell, we know that starting point, which is the first lesson, because we encourage people to speak.
Even the first class?
Yeah, first class,
Yeah.
because we teach them how to greet people, how to say goodbye,
Yeah.
and they gotta start speaking.
What I must say,
So
like,
that's-
we don't
that's the
say
first-
it's like a language or English. We just say acting different way. I mean,
Yeah.
it is more natural, yes?
Yeah.
You're not like, you don't, interesting. The one guy told me that the German, there was a foreigner in Belgium, and that kid didn't know there were two languages. I think he was from Turkey or something, but he was born there. He didn't know there are two, he didn't know there were two languages existed. He only thought this way. So when he comes home, he gotta speak this way, which is the same language he thought, okay? And when he go out, talk to his friend, he talk different way, which is actually different language we know, but he didn't know. He was a kid,
Really?
It was tough. It is possible, man. Imagine right now here, as long as we don't say our kids that, oh, this is Russian, this is like stated, you gotta speak in Kyrgyz. If you don't name their language, people, kids may think like, oh, I'm speaking this way, I'm speaking the other way.
Yeah.
So, this is maybe a short way to go, ultimate goal. I don't know, this is one of my,
So guys, what? Do we round up?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. It's too much. I think like 11 minutes.
Аябай көп болып кетті 11 минут.
11 өзіңіз сөйлерсің. Ошондой угуучулар биз аябай кызыгабыз. Бирөө тил үйрөнсө, эмнеге дегенде кандай сөз бар эле? Кечиресиңер. Мага жазган мен Жеңишбектен сураган бир эмен бар эле да. Тил жөнүндө жазып бербейсизби деп сурадым эле. Азыр ошо эмени окуп берейин. Жакшы. Окей, мына Жеңишбек жума кадыр билесиңер да, мындай эмне эле акын эле деп койду эле.
Акын.
Жок, баягындай сыра
Токмакын.
Токмакын, Мына ким жакшы ырдай? Кыргызча айт, Жан дүйнөгө кандай кыйын тил кыска, жарык чачар тил үйрөнгүн турмушта, жети тилди чагып жесең жаңгагын, жерде туруп колуң жетет жылдызга. Кийинки куплеттерде
Ачыгын айтайын, биринчи мен укканда мындай, билбейм, мындай түшүнүксүз келгендей болду мага ачыгын айткандачы, бирок мындай тил үйрөнсөм ушундай деп атат. Кече жакында биздин мурунку окуп кеткен окшубузду жолтурдум. Аты айтпай коеюн, кыз ал.
Реклама болбосун деген.
Ал Америкага уже барам деп аткан болчу, барабыз деп. Биз дагы аябай ага түрткү берип барасың, сенин колуңан келет. Мүмкүн болсо биз да жардам беребиз деп атканбыз. Кече уже айтты, майда буюрса бараттыр. Уже барып консульствага барып сүйлөшүптүр, документтерин даярдаптыр. Майда буюрса учуп кетет. Нью-Йорк.
Жакшы.
Демек, чындап эле тил үйрөнсө, ошол эле адам тил үйрөнгөндүгү үчүн жакшыраак жумушка өткөн болчу, тил билгендиги үчүн. Ошол эле
Жумушка эмес, дагы баягы хозяиндер американецтер болчу, аны бир эле ошол жакында. Тил билген үчүн мындай жакындык болот.
Ооба, тил билген үчүн жакындык болду. Мисалы, ошо хозяиндин аялы менен жакын болуп калыптыр да, өзү кыз бала болчу. Аялы эми үйүндө отурат экен да, аял да американка экен, үйүндө отурат, анан аял менен сүйлөшкөн адам жок, ал кыз менен сүйлөшүп, постоянно жардам берип сүйлөшүп барды, жакшы дос болуп калыптыр. Качан day off.
Эми иштебеген убакта.
Иштебеген выходной күндөрү чакырат экен дагы. Демалыш күндөрү чакырышат экен дагы. Боулингке барайлы экен, мындай кылайлы деп согушушат экен. Андан кийин ошо сурап калыптыр. Сен мисалы, сенин кандай максаттарың бар десе, мен ушунда Америкага баргым келет деген экен. Ошо аял айттыр, давай биз сага жардам берели деп, жардам берип атышат. Азыр документтерин уже мурун жөнү сөз болчу да.
Булар бири-бири менен англисче сүйлөшөбү?
Булар бири менен англисче сүйлөшөт.
Аял орусча билбейт да?
Аял билбейт, американка да.
Кыргызча да билбейт.
Айтып атат да, тамашалашып, мен ошо акем бар, акем дагы ошо мына жини келип кызгангандай болду окшойт. Мен көрөйүн деп тааныштырайын деди, анан бардык, тааныштырдык, анан жакты деп сүйлөштү, азыр мындай үй бүлөбүз менен дос болуп калып деп сүйлөшүшөт дейт. Ошол
бул деген сөз эмне?
Тил билсе,
тил
кете берет экен.
Азыр жана эмне деди эле? Жылдызга жетесиң дейт да. Жылдызга жетебиз.
Ошону чындап эле мындай болот экен да жашоодочу.
Мындай жылдызга жылдыз деген эмне сөз эле? Жылдыз деген бизде асманда жылдыз. Жылдыз.
Бул силердин максатыңар.
Жок, баягы star бар го, star. Эме, жылдыз деген эмне? Звезда. Звезда деген эмне?
Жылдыз да ошо. Мирбек Атабеков жылдызбы?
Жылдызбы? Жылдызга жетесиз.
Ошондой мааниде.
Ошондой мааниде болот да, мисалчы. Макул ошол. All right, it was great conversation. I really appreciate that, guys.
Жақсы болды.
Yeah. So
Жақсы қойдық.
talk to you guys later.
All right.
Keep watching, keep listening.
Stay safe and cool.
Чирip кеткен помидорлардан ырғыт қыла. Бұл деген сөз комментарийіңерді бергіле. Көрішеміз анда.
Бізге мұнда жөн берсеңер болады. Ушул темада ойыңарды бөлішкенсеңер бөлішкенге даярбыз. Ушул сияқты. Біз деген барлық нәрсені білебізден жоқпыз, бирок жашообузда болгон алган опытыбызды, тажрыйбабызды бөлүшкүбүз келет. Башкаларга да пайдалуу болот деп ойлойбуз.
Жоқ, бізге қандай десем ба, кейбіреулерге бұл нәрсе керек емес, керек болған кішілерге біз дайыма тұра отырамыз. Okay guys, peace.
All right, peace you. Yo.